Gut is not the most intelligent part of your body. It's full of shit. It's a fact.
Yeah.
It's not the most intelligent part of your body. This feeling from your gut
Yeah.
has come because when you're faced with a certain level of indecisiveness,
Yeah.
fear will come. When fear comes, it begins to function in your gut because fear and bowel movement are very connected. That's why we say shit scared. They're very connected, I'm telling you. So, when a indecisiveness and a little bit of trepidation or fear enters you, there will be movement in your belly. Don't think it's an intelligent movement. But at the same time, when a certain amount of fear means you perceive danger, when that comes, you become alert. When danger is there, a whole lot of people experience lot more alertness than they ever know in their whole life. Did you ever crash your car or motorcycle or at least fall off a bicycle?
Yeah.
So if you're just about to crash something or you're just about to fall off the roof, those few moments when you thought you're going to fall, if you fell maybe you wouldn't live, but when you thought you're going to fall, those few moments you will see, they will live up in your memory like this, always. After 30 years, you still remember that one incident because it's so bright, because you were so alert in that moment. So danger brings alertness, or your perception of danger brings alertness. Because of that alertness, you may see little better than what you would have seen otherwise. So that is how this gut thing has come. But believe me, gut is not the most intelligent part of your body. It's better to use your brain. So, when you use your brain, there is a certain level of intelligence which tries to work through a situation by your own intelligence. And of course, there is information from others. One should be able to weigh these two. In every situation, I'll do my own thing will be foolish. In every situation, I will do what somebody else taught me is also foolish. There is no perfect balance between the two. It depends on the nature of activity we are doing and also the level of intelligence that you have and the level of information that you have. How much of information that you have is reliable, or is your intelligence more reliable than the information that you have? There is no perfect judgment of this, it's different for each individual and it's different for each situation. Okay, you can say it's a certain skill, but I wouldn't say a skill because people think they can learn it. If it's a skill, it can be taught. This is not something that you thought, that you learn from somebody, this is something that you slowly evolve. How much of… to what extent is your intelligence more reliable than the existing information? This is something that you arrive at your own judgment. For me, in my life, whatever information comes, I just first dismiss it and just look at it from my own intelligence. If my own intelligence is not able to find its way, only then I look at the other information. Because I don't want to clutter myself with that information and prejudice my intelligence of looking at it in a particular way. I want to simply look at everything the way it is. If it doesn't work, if my intelligence is not sharp enough, doesn't have a way to pass, then only I look at other people's information. Everybody need not follow this mode. It's individual and it's different for each situation. In every situation it's not so. When I'm driving in a strange country, usually it's a lady's voice and the GPS which says turn left, I turn left, turn right, whatever she says. I don't use my intelligence. Okay. So it's a judgment that you make depending on the area of function. In yoga, we see a human being as 5 sheaths or 5 layers of bodies. These are known as Annamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha and Anandamaya kosha. Translating it into English would mean, Annamaya kosha means food body. The body, the physical body that you have is just the accumulation of food that you have eaten. It is something that you gather. Manomaya kosha means a layer of intelligence which is capable of accumulating knowledge. But there is a layer of intelligence. It is not here or here, here somewhere. Every cell in the body has its own intelligence, yes or no? So intelligence is all across. Accumulation of knowledge is all across. When I say this, people will always think, generally the thought is, memory means it's in your head. No, no, no. Your body has 1,000,000-fold more memory than your mind. Right now, your great-grandfather's nose is sitting on your face because something in the body remembers, isn't it? Yes or no? 1,000,000 years ago, how your forefathers looked, unknowingly, still your hair is like that, your texture of the skin is like this, your complexion is like this. Your body remembers. Your body remembers 1,000,000-fold more than your mind can ever imagine. So, both in terms of intelligence, right now, what is happening in a single cell in your body, can you logically, mentally or intellectually decipher what's happening in one cell in your body? One molecule of DNA, what's happening is too much to know. So, the intelligence and the memory in the body is way beyond what happens in the bone box that you call as your head. It is just that this part of your intelligence can generate thought, and because you have become very attached to your thought, you think intelligence is all coming from here. No. This is exuding much more intelligence than your brain can ever think of. This is the science of yoga. One dimension of it. Let me speak about a very small aspect of this. Essentially, one aspect of yoga means understanding the geometry of existence. When I say the geometry of existence, for example, this solar system is functioning the way it's functioning. One thing is, all this life, including yourself, you're all solar powered, aren't you? Everything, all life on this planet is solar powered, isn't it? I was, like about 6 weeks ago, I was in an open helicopter. We were just at about 4,500 feet. Everybody knows every 1,000 feet so much temperature drops, so you prepare for that and go. But suddenly it became extremely cold. So cold that we had to come down. So we were just discussing, because the cloud cover came, suddenly it became so cold, we just couldn't stay there. So we were just discussing, if sun disappears, how long would it take for the earth to freeze up? In our calculations, we thought maybe 6 months, maybe 3 months, something. Then when I came down, I just checked out. In 18 hours, all the oceans on the planet will be frozen solid rock. It'll be frozen into solid ice in just 18 hours' time. So you clearly know that sun is the basic source of energy. Everything in this planet is solar powered. So, the geometry of the sun, the planet, the moon and other planets has a role to play in everything that happens upon this planet. All life is associated with this. Now when you say intelligence, when you say mind, I believe you're referring to intelligence. If you're talking about the thought process, that essentially happens in the neurons in your brain, which we know. But if you're talking about mind as an intelligence, it is just all over in this body and everywhere in the existence. The very earth that you walk upon is tremendously intelligent. Have you ever seen that you planted a mango tree and by mistake it goofed and produced a coconut? Did it ever do that? No such thing ever happened. Just its neighbor is producing coconuts. By mistake, did it ever produce a coconut? Such a nut nature has never produced, isn't it? But employing your logical intelligence, many times you end up into that kind of situations. So, you need to understand this, both in terms of intelligence and memory. Every cell in your body carries much more than your whole brain carries. One cell in your body, one molecule of DNA carries information that your whole brain cannot decipher, that much information it carries. What happened in the last few million years, it remembers and still manifesting, isn't it? So, it is not in any one place, not even just within you, it is all across you. The whole creation is just intelligence.
Namaskaram, Swami. The other day you had mentioned that thought is very necessary for one to take any action. Sometimes I feel the action I've taken is based on a thought that's not mine. Is that possible for someone to plant a thought in my mind, making me think it's mine?
None of your thoughts are yours. None of your thoughts are really yours, please see. Thought is something that you generate from implanted information, all kinds of things hitting you. The way you think right now depends on what kind of family you were born in, what kind of parents you had, what kind of education, what kind of society, what kind of social backgrounds, religious backgrounds, and all these things deciding how you think. Yes or no? For sure, isn't it? So how can you say it is your thought? All kinds of people are working. Can somebody plant a thought? Definitely. Definitely, yes. If you're talking about someone consciously wanting to plant a thought in you, is that possible? Very much possible. But you shouldn't get into this mode, because every time you do something wrong, you will think, somebody planted this in my Even if you let somebody plant it in your head, it is still your doing, isn't it? Yes? You let somebody plant a thought in you, that is also your doing, isn't it? Oh, somebody planted a thought in my head, what can I do? People are going about this has become a fashion everywhere. This was an Indian thing. When Indians got very affluent many generations ago, and they got naturally lazy, they came to this, God willing. Anything you ask them, they'll say, God willing. God willing, I will get up. Who knows when goddamn God is willing? If I do it, God was willing. If I don't do it, He's not willing. This is a horrible trick. But it goes on in the world. Everything that matters to them, anyway they will do. If you ask something, they'll say, God willing. Yes? Will they say, if God willing, I will have my dinner? No, they will eat. If you say, can I have dinner? They'll say, God willing. So, can we plant a thought? Definitely we can. In fact, we can plant a whole philosophy into you if you want. Why just a thought? A whole series of thought, a complex series of thought we can plant into your head. But there are different ways of planting a thought. There are dark ways of doing it. There are straight ways of doing it. There are other ways of doing it where a thought is not planted. You are made to think in a certain way, purely for your well-being. This needs to be done. Otherwise, you will just scatter yourself all over the place and spend your life without any purpose, without getting anywhere. The dark ways of doing it involves various dark arts through which they will plant negative thoughts in your head, where you will work for your own destruction. The straight ways of doing it or the school teacher's way, they're trying to tell you, this is better, this is better, this is better, constantly. Or the marketing manager's way. The Coca-Cola, the real thing, the real thing, the real thing, the real thing. Now you say the real thing. If I say the real thing, you'll say Coke. Everywhere it's written around the world, real thing. So, that is just by repetition. It's straight. If you want, you can reject it. With the first one, if you're vulnerable in some way, you have no choice. It will anyway enter your life. The last way of doing it will happen only if you're willing, open and receptive. Otherwise, that person who does the last way of putting thoughts into you is not even interested in doing such things. Only if you are willing, open and you want to go in a certain way, but you do not have the necessary grit to hold on to something that you need to do, then a thought can be implanted in you in a different way. So, if you're talking about negative thoughts being implanted into you, all you have to do is bring some simple meditation or something where your system gets organized in such a way that these things cannot affect you. Or you must carry something with you which will create a certain cocoon of energies around you where these things cannot affect you. There are various ways of preventing somebody else influencing your thought. So, I'm also willing to plant a thought in you, more than a thought in you. I can plant an explosive in you if you want. Not a bomb, an explosive. There's a difference. Bomb is purely destructive. An explosive can be used in so many ways, isn't it? If you want, I can plant an explosive. Why? Just a thought. If you simply say boom, it goes. I can plant an explosive of ecstasy if you want. If you simply close your eyes, lots of people, if they just close their eyes, their eyeballs will go pop. Why just a thought? Thought is a rudimentary thing, very surface thing. We can plant energy into you in such a way that it guides your life wherever you are, whatever you may be. There are better technologies than thoughts. Right now, the most important thing in the world is human consciousness. Tremendous technologies have come. All these technologies, if they have to become meaningful force in human well-being, it is first the human being that we need to work on. Great things are available in our hands, but if we don't have human beings who are in a certain level of perception and wisdom, then all these technologies can be a big disaster for humanity. At least if you were not empowered with technology, maybe we didn't have to so much bother about human consciousness, we could have allowed another 500 years of stupidity. But not anymore. The way the technology is growing, if human beings don't grow accordingly, we are going to make a big disaster out of everything. Do you see the disaster always lurking on the edge? It can just happen any moment. So when we are hugely empowered, when we are slowly, with the aid of science and technology, we are becoming like giants. If you were just an ant, it was okay how you walk, you can crawl upon anybody, it's all right. Once you become a giant, you better walk carefully, isn't it? Extremely carefully, otherwise every step will be disaster. So in many ways, humanity has become a huge giant, hugely empowered. It's time that they walk very, very cautiously with full awareness, otherwise they will step upon themselves and finish it off. There are some things that need to happen around us. This is not my mission, it is not my life's mission that I have to fulfill it. If it doesn't happen, I will die unsatisfied. There is no such thing for me. There are people for whom some things are needed. Anyway, we are doing some nonsense in our life. Let's do something useful, that's all. Anyway, some nonsense we have to do, isn't it? You cannot keep quiet. I can keep quiet without doing anything. You cannot keep quiet. Anyway, you will do something. Why don't you do something which is useful? Why don't you do something which will touch people's lives? That's all. So, reaching out to another human being need not happen because you have taken a vow, I'm going to do it. Keep your humanity active, anyway it will happen. How can you not do it? How can you not do it that you hold as a part of yourself? So when it comes from that, it'll happen gently, well. You take up a mission, somebody will become your enemy, you know. Whatever the mission, if you stand up for a mission, there'll be some other mission which will stand against you. So don't take up a mission, just keep your humanity in full force. What has to happen, what you can do will anyway happen. So, you yourself cannot go to the village, you yourself cannot go to the slum and do all that. Somebody else is doing it, at least do something to make that happen, that's all.